Candace. Listen, I don't care who likes or dislikes this woman. I love her bravery. I really do. I don't care if she's going up to bat for someone that had really different views and opinions than us. I admire the fact that she's going after something greater, something that could be darker, something that could be very dangerous. She's adamant, persistent, consistent, ambitious. Come on, man, you gotta applaud that. But like I said, this can be something that's very dangerous, and I really hope this woman maintains her well-being. I hope she stays vigilant with her head on a swivel, because the things she's uncovering, other people have did the same digging, and I'm not gonna say anything else about that. But even me just commenting on these educational videos and reacting to these educational videos, I feel certain ways sometimes when I cover certain content. But these clips we're about to watch, you guys, they're about to change everything you thought you knew about this whole thing. And just the mere fact that she's questioning the tactics, the loss of information, the misinformation, the withdrawals of participation, it says a lot about her character. These clips will change everything you thought you knew about this Charlie Kirk situation, and it'll make you hope that this lady remains okay. So apparently there was a gentleman that did some content about the situation. I'm not going to say too much right now because we're going to watch the clip, but that content got instantly deleted for a reason that you'll see in this next clip we're about to play. Now, what was chosen to be put out to the public versus what was really within the content, two different things, you guys. It's the same thing, but two different aspects. And I think Candace is alluding to the fact that maybe this person got scared. Maybe they were ordered to do so. Or even, you know what? I'm going to let her tell it. Let's get to it.
Because I'm starting to get a bit of a stronger hunch about things. We'll jump back in here regarding Shayner Broderick, who is, according to Phil Lyman, a cousin who he refers to Phil as his uncle across interviews. Doesn't matter. They're family members is the main point, and they know each other. And Shayner Broderick has, of course, mysteriously deleted all of his socials except for Instagram, but he's wiped his Instagram. Okay? Just deleted his Facebook and just outright deleted his LinkedIn page because I asked him a question before we even went live. That was his response. Okay? Now, he did this not before I grabbed everything that I needed from his pages. I just had a suspicion that he might not be willing to participate, and I was operating under the assumption that he might just privatize his socials. So I instructed my team to grab everything before I even made contact. Now, what I did not anticipate was that he would delete the content. Okay? Why would he delete the content? That part never wasn't tracking for me. It didn't make sense to me. Now, it sort of maybe does make a lot of sense to me. So you will recall that we had received a lead live on the show. Someone paid money to inform us that there was footage that the FBI was hiding, right? She wrote in, said, I had been trying to reach out to you everywhere. The FBI is hiding footage. The doorbell cam footage had more. This is what the person told us. She said, the shooter is then seen changing his clothes, and he is with a woman. She told me. And then she gives me a name, and that name was another Lyman family member. And that's when my spidey senses started tingling. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of Lymans. Now, I want to be very clear and fair to Phil Lyman. He has been forthcoming about the fact that his family owned that property. Like, they own everything there. That is not mysterious. He's not hiding that fact. UVU, in many ways, purchased the university from his family, right? That the acreage from his family for that university. But I did feel that if that is the case, obviously, then Phil Lyman would, in theory, be able to access that footage, right? Be able to speak to his family members. And yeah, I didn't want to come out and say that it was a fact that there was a woman with the shooter without any proof. We had no proof outside of this person, and what she was saying felt real to me, definitively, but I needed something more solid. Well, we came across something more solid. We reviewed the footage that Shaner Broderick, of course, we downloaded everything, but hadn't actually reviewed it, had wiped from the internet. And yeah, the proof is in the pudding, and I'm going to let you hear it. Now, to set this up, you will recall that Shaner and his close friends that nobody knows, apparently, they were retracing the footsteps of the killer. They were at his grandma's house, he said. And he's speaking on camera with his aunt to set this footage up for you. And sure enough, you're going to hear right in the beginning, his aunt is going to mention that there was a woman who was helping the shooter, and she's not sure whether or not that person was an accomplice. I would say if you're helping the shooter, you were an accomplice, but somehow we all missed this in this actual clip that Shaner had posted and has since been wiped from the internet. Take a listen.
Now, let's be real, you guys. If it were me or you and one of our side pieces or our chicks or whoever, it could have been a cousin, an auntie, whoever. If we were on footage, on camera, and that person accompanied us, and there was an act done that was against the law, you better believe that person would be an accomplice. In this clip, pay attention to what these people say. And just the mere fact that they went and retraced this thing on their own, that could have put them in jeopardy. Because in doing so, you're challenging a higher power. And when you challenge that higher power, you might find certain discrepancies that they don't want brought to light. And I kind of think that's what happened. But listen, as the people in this clip say too much. And they're not speaking about some mystery woman because it's the thing to do. This woman isn't imaginary. These people are not saying this for no reason. Let's tap into the clip.
If you time how long it took him to get from that little part over to here, was way longer than it should have been. So I wondered if the girl had given him stuff, like if there is an accomplice. Sorry, you're filming.
And it said right here, that picture from Sam's across the street, he was right here.
Yep.
So you see, she's talking about the shooter, and she says, I was wondering if the girl had given him stuff, and then somebody off camera says, you're filming, and she says, I'm sorry that you're filming, but it's very clear. There's no question at all. In fact, leading into that, which we should have maybe cut that a little bit earlier, they're speaking about how she thought the FBI had it wrong. The timing didn't make sense to her. And that's what she's starting with. The timing doesn't make sense to me because I thought that it took a little longer for him to walk. Let's play that again, Skylar, just so they can hear it again. She says that there's a girl. Take a listen.
If you time how long it took him to get from that little part over to here, was way longer than it should have been. So I wondered if the girl had given him stuff, like if there is an accomplice. Sorry, you're filming.
And it said right here, that picture from Sam's across the street, he was right here.
Yep.
So just to be clear, those subtitles are wrong. It's just that's AI. She's saying, I wondered if there is an accomplice. Okay. I wondered if there is an accomplice, which we should edit that, Chris, when we re-release that. And then somebody says something, and she's like, sorry, I didn't realize you were filming. Okay. So we have the woman who was my source who said that the FBI cut the footage and she was certain of it. And now we have actually the woman who handed over her footage to the FBI saying, I wondered if that woman was an accomplice. Ladies and gentlemen, what the heck is going on? Who was the woman that was with the alleged shooter? Why wouldn't the FBI immediately release that? Now, again, you should recall that the very next morning, on September the 11th, TMZ already had the doorbell cam footage, okay? So that means that the FBI already had the footage, right? They would have seen that there was a woman with the shooter, and yet they chose during this manhunt during this 33-hour manhunt, not to inform the public that they were also looking for a woman who this lady believes she wondered whether or not she would have been an accomplice. If that was his accomplice. What happened to this lady? Who is the girl, the woman that was in this footage, guys? I don't know. What are your ideas here? Why would the FBI not tell us something so evidently crucial to this story that we have a woman that's involved? What does she look like? How old is she?
I think that lady wanted to get that out there. I really do. Because if you look at the footage, the camera is not facing the ground. You don't see people's feet walking. You don't see the tops of shoes. You don't see anything. You see an upright image of what's in front of these people. You even see a gentleman point out into the distance and say, yeah, he was right there, this and that. I wonder how long it took to walk from here and there. That lady said what she said on purpose, in my opinion. She knew that man was filming. People just don't walk with their phones upright and out as if it's just a normal thing to do. If a person's going to be walking with their phone and they're going to be engaging with their phone, it'll probably be with that, probably like a 45-degree angle. Because let's be real, you're not going to be able to see a screen if your phone's is standing straight up. It's impossible, especially with the glare, the sunlight. You get what I'm saying. I feel this woman said these things on purpose. Now, let's get to this next clip. Now, like I said before, you guys, about challenging a higher power and trying to reenact these situations to find discrepancies. Like I said before, that could put a person in danger when challenging a higher power. And I think these people know. And when those people, that higher power, came to get that footage and this and that, they turned it over. So in this next clip, we're going to hear how these same people handled Candace Owens when she tried to tap in and get the original footage. It's amazing how they treated her, but you got to think about self-preservation. You don't know what these people were told by a higher power, but there are higher powers involved. Let's be real. But check out this clip.
I obviously did the sensible thing, right? I reached out to Phil Lyman because it's his family, and I asked him whether or not he would be willing to track down this footage for me. And he's not happy with me. He's angry. I mean, he said really not nice things to me. He started asking me if I had something to do with the shooting. Okay. And I basically just stayed focused and said, Phil, okay, we showed your footage. He's very upset about cousin versus nephew thing. I said, it's all irrelevant. If you're saying you actually want to help us catch the killer, right? If that's really where your heart was, if that's really why you injected yourself so much into this story, why wouldn't you, knowing how deeply I care about this, walk over while you're in the neighborhood popping by, walk over to your aunt, grandma, cousins, I don't care whose house, and say, hey, you said there was an accomplice, that there was a woman, okay, that might have been an accomplice. Do you mind letting me see the raw footage so that I can hand it over to Candace? In fact, how about just giving me any of the footage that your family rushed to give to TMZ? Why did they rush to give it to TMZ? By the way, you definitely were you said you were at your cousin's house and that you hadn't seen the footage. You were watching it live with Kayleigh McEnany on Fox News. That's what you said during that segment, right? This is the first time I'm seeing this footage. So apparently your cousin, close enough to go to their house, but your cousin decides to give the footage to TMZ before you can even see it. Okay, maybe the feds gave it. That's another assumption. That's the only two options. Either your cousin gave it to TMZ or the feds gave a portion of it to TMZ, which begs the question, why were we not told about the woman? Who was the woman? We should now all be putting a lot of pressure on the FBI to make a statement about why the woman who handed over her footage, I've now twice confirmed in her own mouth and from a source that there was a lady in that footage with the shooter. So why are they worried about that being caught on camera? Oh, sorry, didn't realize you were filming. What's that about? It's like everybody knows something that I don't know. And I want to be in the know on what happened to Charlie Kirk on 9/10. So if you have any tips pertaining to who the woman was that was caught, please let me know. I am going to try again to reach out to this family, since I don't think that Phil Lyman wants to assist me, doesn't like me. That's fine. I wonder if he likes truth, if he likes trying to solve this thing. That would be great as well. If he doesn't want to talk to me, I'm happy to put him in touch with another journalist. But if you know something more and you'd like to reach out to us, please do. You can reach out to us on social media. And I please ask again that you guys reserve not sending us videos and TikToks and links, but rather, if you have information, please use tips@CandaceOwens.com. I love you all, and I love that the whole world wants to know what happened.
She asked a legit question. Why were we not told? What was the importance of allegedly withholding this information about another person involved? It can't be they didn't want to induce panic or anything like that. Why weren't we told? Who was that person? Why do a lot of people think that the guy wasn't even involved in the situation from the jump? A lot of people doesn't think it was him. The man was in a restaurant, a fast food restaurant, at a certain time where he shouldn't have been, according to some people's narratives. But I can understand where that family is not wanting to engage with Candace in this situation, because they know the importance of self-preservation, and they know the power of the higher power. I'm not going to say the 3 letters. You guys get where I'm going with it. But let's check this next clip out. This is the last clip. If you made it to this point, say I made it. Let's get to it.
We turn our attention back to the mysterious individual that is next to Shaner, right? We discovered that one person was from Austria. And then we're going, who's this goth kid? That Phil has been clear he does not know him. Phil Lyman does not know this individual. He could not help identify him. I told you it was unusual that our inbox wasn't instantly flooded with people telling us exactly who it was. Well, then we did get another hit on him, and a handful of you similarly found the same person that we did, a person going by the name Robbie Hild, who is allegedly from Washington. Now, let me tell you why I don't think this is his true identity, okay? Because if this was just some kid who grew up in Washington, went to school in Utah, my inbox would be flooded with that name, and it's not.
I want to know your thoughts, you guys. Let's have the discussion in the comment section. I'm going to be diving deeper into this thing because it's so many narratives being spun that you don't know which way to go with it. But some people say when things aren't adding up, that's exactly what they want. Confusion. If you made it to this point, say I made it. $Trap House Kitchen 1. I am out. Peace.